Hello all, welcome to yet another episode of Discover Study Abroad. Today we have Deeksha here with us, who is the upcoming student in UCD, which is University College Dublin in Ireland. So Deeksha has also got 8 bands in IELTS with 9 on 9 in listening. So in this session we are going to ask her how did she manage to get this kind of score, and she is going for her Masters in Information Systems after 4.5 years of work experience. So we're going to ask her why did she took this step of going for her Masters after so many years of work experience, and of course why did she choose Ireland. So let's start this session. So hello Diksha, thanks a lot for taking out time for this session. I'm very excited to talk to you because this is the first time I'm interviewing someone who is going to study in the Ireland, and that also in a top university like UCD. So thanks again.
Thank you for having me, Damini. It's nice to talk to you as well.
Okay. So Diksha, before we get to this session and we talk about your admissions and Ireland a little bit, I want to get a little bit background of yourself, like where do you hail from in India, where did you study and everything. So can you share some details on that?
I'm Deeksha, and my hometown is Coorg. It's a small hill station near Bangalore in Karnataka. It's a very beautiful place. I mean, most of the Bangaloreans spend their weekends in Coorg all the time. My itself till 12th standard. I've been to many schools, like 2, 3 of them. After that, I moved to Mysore for my engineering, which I did in JSS Institute of Engineering and Technology. In information systems, I've been always, fascinated with coding, and like the first time I was introduced to HTML was in 10th standard, and ever since then I've been hooked. I would even remember like making, web pages for my favorite serials and stuff. I mean, back then itself. So it's always been that, part that I chose even in engineering. So after that, I came to work in Bangalore, and it's been like almost 4.5 years since then. So next is the next chapter that I'll be taking towards UCD. Yeah.
So Diksha, thanks for sharing this information. Now, the first question that comes to my mind is because you're not from a metro, you're from Coorg, as you mentioned. So I wanted to understand that, how did your parents perceive the idea of you studying abroad? I understand that, you were working for 4 years, 4.5 years, so your parents might be taking you as
Yeah.
an independent woman who can take her
Mm.
decisions. But still, I mean, what was their reaction?
Yeah, obviously they were a little skeptical about going, especially after 4.5 years. And in Indian society, you kind of start, settling down and everything. But this is something that I've wanted since a really long time, like to do masters. And I was pushing it because, Indian education, you kind of have to write a lot to get a degree. And I am a kind of person who likes to do things practically. Do a lot of theses, interview people, and things like that. And I felt, such education would be better suited for me. And I was supposed to go abroad long back for the studies part, but then I got an opportunity to work outside as well. So that was again an amazing opportunity, which opened my eyes up to so many, possibilities, opportunities, and also it gave me that strength within. And at the end of the day, you can only convince your parents if you truly believe that you can do it, right? So that is what happened, I guess. So they are now fine with it, and they were really supportive in the even loan the cases and everything, because you need your parents to help you with so many things, especially when it comes to loan. Yeah, they are really supportive in that sense. Yeah.
Okay. So I really like the line which you just said that, if you truly believe, and that's only then you can convince your
Yeah.
parents. So, even when I went abroad, my parents were like, hey, how are you going to manage it? But because I was confident that, I can do it. And that's
Yeah.
how, I convinced them. So Yeah, so that
Yeah.
was a good point. Sure. So
Yeah.
now, Diksha, when people start thinking of studying abroad, the first thing that comes is writing an exam like IELTS or TOEFL, the
Mm.
English language requirement test.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and I could see that you scored 8 bands in IELTS, and that also
Mm.
9 on 9 in listening. So I wanted to understand
Yeah.
that how did you take out time while working, and that also
Mhm.
putting it so in such a good way and getting such a good score. So how did you manage all that?
Practice is important because that's when you build that confidence, that you can do it. And once you feel that you can do it, it kind of happens. That is what happened in my case, at least. So initially, I started taking, all of the CDs they would send once you apply for your IELTS. So go through that practice as usual. And once you know that you can do it, but obviously you can come across a lot of other circumstances when it actually happens, right? So what I would like, for me, English, I've always been interested because I would watch a lot of movies and listening. One thing that can actually help you is don't use subtitles when watching anything, so that you will just go on reading and you'll not really listen to what the other person says. So I did that. Actually, after I got, applied for IELTS itself, till then it was always subtitles and everything. But once you do that and you hear to these different accents and you're able to understand, then automatically your confidence grows. And writing is something that happens, like, on the spot. It's about how much interest you have in that topic that they've given to you. So that is, I think, is a bit of luck. Yeah. Other than that, listening and reading and all, it's, yeah, the more you practice it, you'll get it. Yeah. And
Okay.
it hardly
So I mean,
takes like 10 some time of every day to do this practice, so
okay. So while you
anybody
were
can do
working, you were doing this? I mean, while you were, in the middle of your job, were you managing,
it.
preparing for IELTS?
Yeah, I had just I worked out. I had just come back from UK, so I had little bit of spare time before my next project started. So that is when I researched and applied and everything. So initially, when I started the practice, I did not have any work. But once when the dates, neared that time, yeah, there was a lot of work. But uh, at night, a little bit of time just before you sleep, just one module each day, maybe not everything at once, just reading one day and next day you do that. Just maybe weekly 3 days if you take also, you can finish off the practice tests like 2-3 times, and yeah, that much was enough for me.
So I think that those were good tips because you told us that people can manage it even while they are working. So which I think a lot
Yeah.
of people are scared of, that, oh, how am I going to write GRE or how am I going to write IELTS while I'm working? So a lot of people think that I have to quit and then I have to start the process. So I think that was something interesting you
Wow.
shared. So Diksha,
Yeah.
now something very interesting I found in your profile is that you worked for 4.5 years and then you decided to go for your masters. And while we were talking today in the morning, you told me that you were very passionate about to do something different, and that's why you decided to take up this step. So can you
Yeah.
share that with us? Because I found that very inspiring. So can you just share that with us? That why did you decide to go for your masters after so much of work experience?
Yeah, so as I told, I was always interested in coding and all that stuff. But the more you grow, you can find that you have much more interest and you can do so much more with those things as well. But to be honest, my interest turned out to be something that is completely opposite to whatever I was doing. It was human psychology, and I had not even taken up biology in my PU. So instead of taking a complete 360-degree, change and completely change my career, I thought I'll try to find my, personal interest in this field itself, IT. So when I was researching through that, I came across this course of information systems. There are a lot of courses in Ireland with the same name, and I also got into NUI Galway as well, university. But then the subjects which interested me the most in this were that it was a combination of not just technology or not just about management. It was more of research based, and also a lot of IT is growing a lot, so it's very difficult to put that thin, like cross that thin line wherein it really be harmful for your life as well, right? Day to day activities, and lot of questions are happening about it. I even watched this show called Social Network recently, and you can actually see how much it is affecting people. So I wanted to be at this, center of where we are able to develop solutions based on keeping human beings at the center of it, and not just for money making or making them involved in something just because you get some revenue out of it. So that all these things I had in mind, along with, as I told, like psychology and all that. So this one subject had all of these areas, whatever I wanted as modules, as well as cognitive science and user experience designs. So I thought, instead of completely changing or making my degree as useless, like, about computers, I thought I'll get into a field in IT itself, wherein I can also pursue my personal goals of actually bringing about some change and research, and also researched a lot about like jobs which I can do in such fields. And I found like a lot of, even in companies, research keep on going about how to improve the productivity or how to make lives better. Like they go interview old people, like old age people need a lot of technological assistance to them, but they are not really equipped with that mentality to handle it right immediately. They get irritated. So according to their needs, you need to cater. So all these kind of job roles are also there, wherein you are every day talking to people, understanding their mentality, and then doing something in IT for them. So something in those lines I wanted to pursue. So yeah, that's
So
what.
it's more like a human and IT mix, and a human
Yeah,
psychology is something which interested you in, your
yeah,
own
yeah,
field of IT with work
yeah,
experience. So that's what you wanted to
yeah,
merge. Okay.
yeah,
So I
yeah,
think and that was the part, which I found very inspiring, that, people a lot of times, when they start working, they feel that, now I'm stuck to this field and this is
yeah,
what I'm going to do entire my life, right? But then you decided
yeah,
that, okay, because it also happens that when you restart in a new field, you have to start from, a little down maybe, because if you would
mm,
have grown in the same field, you go up, and, when you try to
yeah,
take your passion, um, you let your passion take the first seat, you have to start back, somewhere from the
yeah.
time. So I think that's what people are mostly scared of, and I'm very, inspired listening to that, you took this step and you decided
Yeah,
to
I mean,
start it.
it it is a scary part itself. That is why I didn't want to be completely unpractical also. Like I could have directly gone to some psychology course, like leaving
Okay.
everything behind, but I didn't want to be completely, impractical like that. I wanted to, as I told you, I'm actually interested in IT as well. So I wanted like a amalgamation of both the things that
Oh,
I'm interested in. So
got it.
yeah.
Got it. Okay. So now, because you decided to go abroad, and you were very particular that this is the kind of course you're looking at. So why did you choose Ireland particularly? Why not any other country or any other university?
I had, see, from Indian middle class background, you're going to study abroad. It's a lot of financial burden on you.
Exactly.
And I'm being honest, and I was saying for a country which could give me a like best degree in as much less money as possible. So
Okay.
Germany was actually a very good choice for that. But then I had to learn German language, and I have a couple of friends working there who, studying there, and they told there are universities like which will take only English speaking students, and there are opportunities as well, but better not to come completely relying on that part because it might get difficult. And Ireland was another option. It's actually, I think it will cut the tuition fees into half,
Yeah.
Germany. But I feel mental health is also very, very important. I have a lot of friends in Ireland who can actually support me, guide me. So that was one of the main reasons, because Netherlands and Ireland both kind of had, and Netherlands actually opens up a European market to you in the job perspective. But then I'm a
From the
person who
language.
needs my mental health intact as well.
Okay.
English language, yeah. So Ireland, I think it's mainly because of that monetary, and I knew people there. So yeah,
Okay.
those reasons,
Got it.
and the
So,
language, English
okay.
speaking, yeah.
So it was more like a return on investment that, because if you go to the
Mm.
US, you spend a lot more money on your education. So
Yeah,
you wanted to
it's
make
too
sure that,
much. Yeah,
it's cheap enough, and, it gets you that
yeah,
value also. So good return on
yeah,
investment kind of
yeah,
thing. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Got it.
And Ireland has a lot of big IT companies headquarters and everything. So
Yeah.
it's a pretty good choice to do in Europe. Yeah.
Got it, got it. And I think it's only 1 year master's as well. Is it only 1 year?
Yeah, 1 year. That was also a plus point. Yeah.
That's another advantage. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So UCD is the second top university in Ireland
Hmm.
after Trinity College, right? So
Yeah.
was it
Yeah.
difficult to get in there, or did you find it wasn't, you didn't have to
Uh,
really write very
so as a
sort of.
Yeah, as I said, I had all of these things in mind, what I wanted, right? And to be
Hmm,
honest, I didn't find this combination in any other college than in UCD. So it was
okay.
like I had to get in there. If I didn't get in there in any other course, even with the same name, information systems, I didn't have the subjects which interested me. So I think your SOP matters a lot when you're writing it. Just be honest, literally put it in words, whatever you're feeling. So as long as you're able to convey that to them, I think it will become not, I wouldn't say easy. It's a lot of revisions even in your SOP. Like you have so many things to tell, but you should condense them and put it in a way which they can understand. And yeah, too many revisions also happened. And yeah, hopefully I think I was able to convey them whatever I was feeling. So I was even offered a scholarship like around
Okay.
5,000 euros. So that was
Okay.
also a good boost for me. So yeah, I was really
Okay.
happy when I got that.
Sure, sure, sure. That's great.
Yeah.
So 5,000 euros will be like, so what exactly is your total tuition fee? I mean, for this
Total in
particular.
you, yeah, in Ireland it's usually around 15 to 20,
Okay.
20k euros it will be
Okay.
tuition
And then
fees.
you got like
So in that
5,000.
5,000 off, so it is now
Okay.
around 15,000
Yeah.
euros I'll have to pay.
Okay. So
So
it's
yeah,
approximately 25% of your tuition fee, which is waived
yeah,
off, right? So,
yeah.
which is great. Yeah. Okay.
So
Sure.
when
So
compared to Indian rupees, it actually helps a lot.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. I mean, see, 25% of the tuition fee waiver is not a small amount, right? So that's a lot of
yeah,
money.
yeah,
So great. So I think then your return on investment part became a little more, proper
yeah,
because you got a
yeah.
scholarship also. Yeah. Okay.
Thank God. Yeah.
Sure. So Diksha, now I mean, even though the education isn't very costly in Ireland, you still decided to fund it through an education loan. So, was it
Mhm.
always the plan that, because he, of course, managing 15-20 lakh rupees, people don't have that kind of liquid cash ready, right, in a middle class
Yeah.
family. So, you decided to go for an education loan. So, was it always the plan, or, you know, on the way, you were initially thinking self funding and
Yeah,
then
it
came
was,
education loan? So, how was it?
yeah, it was always the plan because I knew if I'm going abroad and after, as you told, 4+ years of experience, you don't really feel like asking money at home or
Yeah.
parents. You have been independent for certain amount of time. You would want to do things for yourself.
Correct.
So education loan was always the plan, but I was not really sure which bank to go for or how easy it will be. That is where actually WeMakeScholars they called me up and gave me also
Yeah.
many suggestions about which bank will be better.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where you guys
Yeah.
helped a
So
lot.
I wanted to ask you, my next question was going to be on that. So you applied for your loan
Mm.
via WeMakeScholars and Janardhan was your financial officer. So how was the whole
Yeah,
interaction? How did the whole process move? Was it smooth? So can you share some
yeah.
experience on that?
Yeah, I actually still remember the first time Janardhan called me. It was my friend's bachelorette. I was somewhere in
Okay.
Bangalore. Something was going
Okay.
on. So
Hmm.
I couldn't really speak to him the first time properly.
Hmm.
So he called me back after 2 days and then gave a brief about what you guys are doing and how you're helping. And it's a tie-up with the IT initiative of India and all those things. So which was really I don't know, inspiring and good to hear because
Okay.
you don't really see the government helping everybody, right? So
Yeah.
when something like that happens to you, it's always nice to see that okay, something is happening.
Hmm.
So yeah, I was always excited to get to know more, and I told him this is my fees and this is what this with college I'm going to. What are the options? So SBI was always the first choice because it gives you point 0.5 less if you're a girl
Females.
child going for the studies, yeah, females. So I'd also zero point 0.5 for some kind of insurance that you do. So overall, when I researched on my own as well, to be honest, I had already researched all these parts. So when Jadardhan confirmed all this, it was like, okay, I'm going for SBI loan itself.
Okay.
So the loan process as well, he, I think through mail itself, told about how to apply and then to use that application code itself so that you guys can help out later on if
Yeah.
anything goes wrong. So from the first day itself, it was a very good, vibe and what all things to be done. And it was going smoothly itself because SBI is, they need a lot of documentation. It is
Yeah.
not like other banks, like too many things.
Yes.
So all those things they had provided, but in between it got, and also the COVID second wave started, and my dad actually got retired recently, so he couldn't really go to office and get all the paperwork done as easily. And that
Yeah.
is where I think there was a little bit of miscommunication with SBI, and I was
I think
really
it
stuck.
got
I was
delayed
clueless
somewhere
as
in
to,
the month of May.
yeah,
I think it was extended.
May,
You were expecting
yeah,
sanction in the first week of May, and then it
hmm,
went on for another two,
yeah.
3 weeks because of some
Another
documents.
two,
Yeah.
3 weeks.
Hmm.
Yeah, and it was not even like we were not providing the document. It was like total miscommunication, and even I was clueless as to what to do. And
Okay.
then, I called up Janardhan, and he spoke to, I think, Kshitij, and he
Hmm.
spoke to the SBI higher ups. And
Chief
after that,
Chief
everything went
Manager.
smoothly, and I was so thankful. Yeah. Otherwise, I was really clueless because I can't really send my parents to go out during, a pandemic to get
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
documents,
Huh.
right? So, I mean, so yeah, really helped in that regard.
Okay.
Yeah,
So do you think, applying via WeMakeScholars was a better,
yeah, yeah,
decision than going
definitely.
directly?
Yeah, definitely. See, when you have somebody with whom you can cross reference and reach out any point and get a clarification, it's always a best thing, right? Instead of just Googling and finding out, and Google has a lot of information. You can't really get what you need immediately.
Yeah.
So when you
True.
have an expert behind you, it's always the best thing. Yeah. Anybody
Okay.
who wants to take a loan, it's better you have an expert with you so that even when things go wrong, they can actually stand up and talk and, okay, this is how it's done. This is
Yeah.
right. Somebody to guide you like that. So
Yeah,
yeah, it was
sure,
good.
sure. So thank you very much for that. Okay.
Yeah.
So Deeksha, I think these were the only things about the loans I wanted to ask you. So now to
Okay.
conclude this session, my last question would be like, I understand your future aspirations, what exactly you're, why you're passionate about this area which you chose for
Mhm.
your master's, but I wanted to understand what exactly are you looking forward to after that? Are you, planning to work in Ireland, or are you planning to go for research or PhD or something of that sort? So what is the path you
Uh,
are looking at?
so research and PhD, yeah, I am interested. But then, as I told, since I'm taking a loan and going out to study and everything, I would also want to think about those things.
Okay.
So my plans are to once I get the masters, to actually get into the job itself, job market, and get to know. The more experience you have, it's always better even when you come back
Okay.
here, right?
Okay.
So my plan is to get a job, pay off the loan first, because at the end of the day, that is your
Yeah.
priority when you have taken the
Hmm.
loan. So once
Exactly.
that is done, yeah, definitely I would explore all my options. And if see, as I told before, as in more you grow, the more your interests are, you find so many different things. That is one of the reasons that I'm going outside, because there are so many people and so many nationalities, culture. You interact with them, you get to know so many different things. Maybe something there will click and you're into some other path. So I'm really excited and looking forward to this next journey.
Okay.
Actually, it's
Sure.
like, yeah, something really exciting to do.
Sure.
Yeah.
So Diksha, I think all your answers were very practical, as in, future aspirations. You were like, yeah, I want to do PhD, but first I want to finish my loan. So I think
Yeah,
that's that's
let
what
me take care of those
exactly,
things.
yeah, I think that's what exactly is the honest answer that, everyone thinks of, that let's, take off the liability of youth first.
Yeah,
So I think
yeah,
that's what is the right path. So sure. So I think
mhm.
that's all I wanted to, ask you in this session. So it was very great, having you in this, and, asking you these questions. And I hope people who are planning to study in Ireland and targeting maybe UCD, I hope this session will be useful to them as well. So thanks
Yeah,
again. Thank
yeah.
you very much.
Don't forget to subscribe and click on the bell icon to never miss any updates from us.